Hello, welcome to a new video. Today we are having a look at a brand new plugin called Fusion. It's a game-changing plugin for the sound design industry, and you will see why in today's video. It completely blew my mind when I tried it out for the first time. You will see why later. This plugin was made by iFeature, a German producer and plugin developer, and I'm more than excited to review this plugin today. I hope you enjoyed. iFeature also sent me a little discount code for you if you want to grab this plugin, and if you really like it. I think many of you will like this plugin because it's really revolutionary in my opinion. If you like it, you can grab it on his Patreon shop, and there will also be a discount code in the description and in the pinned comment for you. The sounds I've prepared for you are variating from a simple saw wave over growls to melodies and vocals and even drums. You will be able to get an insight on what it sounds like on all different kinds of sounds. This is a saw wave. Nothing special. And now we can load in Fusion. Also, the cool thing is, when you open up Fusion for the first time, you can basically increase the window size to whatever you like, and it looks really sharp and clean. But yeah, I think we will reduce it a little bit so we have enough space to see Serum and also Fusion. There are a bunch of different knobs here. The most important knob is the resynthesis knob, because Fusion is a plugin which resynthesizes your signal in real time. We also have a little display here which shows you what is happening. And this knob basically is a dry-wet knob for the resynthesis. We can switch between the saw wave and also even harmonics and odd harmonics. Then there's this emphasis knob, which switches between 5 different enhance knobs, where you can create different tones. Variating from this little double square, which is a little bit more aggressive, to the double circle, which is a little bit softer. Then we have this shifter here, which is a formant shifter. And it's really crazy, even already on a saw wave. Then there's also a compression knob, which just applies a fixed value of compression. And then we also have the F boost knob right here, which just boosts the fundamental frequency. We also have this color knob here, which is basically a pitch tracker and allows us to pitch correct the signal. We will see what it sounds like later on a different sound. And there's also the scale knob, which is able to switch between major and minor for this bass auto-tune basically on the left. Another cool feature is the root knob right here, which allows us to isolate the fundamental frequency basically. With this last knob, which is called range, we are able to switch the pitch tracker between bass and melody notes. So this is for melody and this is rather for basses. So low end or mid and high frequencies. This was a quick insight on what you can do with it on a saw wave, which is pretty boring. So the actual source is coming now. These are some growl samples, which are sounding really funny and cursed, and we can now apply Fusion to them and resynthesize them to our needs in real time. Now we can also emphasize certain frequencies, and we have a completely different bass actually. Softer, more aggressive, and without. And you can create so many cool variations with this tool and also just become the god of resampling. So if I want to use this bass, for example, now, I would just press right click and bounce to new audio, and then we can use this sound in a song, for example. And here you can also see what it did to the waveform. Really cool and clean result. Let's even go crazier. We can use the even harmonics or the odd harmonics. In this case, I would prefer the even ones. We can also apply the shifter to turn down the formant, apply some compression maybe. And here you can notice that the compressor isolates the spectrally bits, which is really cool. Here we can boost the fundamental, and it sounds so cool. Such a funny tone. I love the results here. And when we disable the color knob, for example, you can hear that it becomes a little bit more choppy. Here we can just isolate the root node. And we can also resample that. This is the melody knob. You can hear that it doesn't work that well on these lower sounds. So this is why we are using this one here on the range. And of course you can also automate everything, which is crazy. You can come up with insane results here. Let's jump over to the next sound. Here we have a simple drum loop by riot from Heavy Bass Design Volume 3. And now we can also resynthesize that. You can notice that it removes the transients, but you could now also resample that and use that as a bass, for example. Or apply some reverb to create a cool little percussive atmo in the background of an intro, for example. Just the root here. It's a bit like a dveight bass, not gonna lie. You are able to see the difference, right? Crazy. This is definitely the sound design plugin of 2025. Alright, let's jump over to a melodic sound. Also by riot. And you can hear that it's basically just a saw wave now. The root here. And this is also creating an interesting result. And also don't forget to switch the range knob here. Yeah, this is going really, really crazy. You can completely resample a sound into something completely different. Let's jump over to a bass loop. This is from my Wake remix I made last year. And we can also try it here. The shift knob also makes it more growly when you turn it down. And now we have a completely different bass, which we can just use in a completely different song. And sometimes it's also funny to switch the range knob to the one for the more higher tonalities and not the bassy one. You can also create cool artifacts, which you can also resample. And when you turn off the color knob, it also sounds like if you have a ring mod enabled somewhere. It's hard to describe what's happening, but I think you get what I mean. Really, really interesting. Now let's try it out on some vocals.
Let me see you get down. Let me see you get down.
You can hear this resynthesized character already.
Let me see you get down. 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 Let me see you get down.
And here you can also create some really, really cool vocal effects to make vocals stand out a little bit more for pre-drops or in drops as well.
Let me see you get. Let me see you get down. Let me see you get down.
Or just isolate the root. And maybe use that for a bass pattern or something. This is what it sounds like on a percussion loop. And you can just use that as a inspiration to create a bass pattern, for example. And of course, rearrange a little bit, but you get the idea, I think.
Reality is not what it seems. Let's get to work. 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 Let's get to work.
Really interesting and funny results, great for resampling. And now let's try it out on some vocals sung by Lia Calva.
And I let go of everything that's pulling me apart. And I know it's not the end, but this could be a start. And I let go of everything that's pulling me apart.
And here you are able to notice that it's resynthesizing the melody. Da, 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 da. I think you're able to get that.
Let go of everything that's pulling me apart. And I know it's not the end, but this could be a start.
Now I also want to show you a sound which I made while experimenting with Fusion last week. And this is what it sounds like. Basically it is a stain, but I used the Fusion inside of the processing chain before all the compressing. I created that really cool growly texture and also spectrally sounding effect. Inside of the sustain or screech bass. This is a drop which I'm currently working on. And now if we enable the resynthesis knob here on the entire bass group, you will see what it does. It's just the sub bass basically. And now you could resample the entire bass group. And get new sound, which you can use in different songs or just as a layer. Great results. And also I would recommend you getting a clean sub bass beneath the layer if you want to use the entire frequency spectrum, so it's just easier for you to balance the volumes appropriately. But yeah, this is basically all it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this little review about Fusion. I really like this plugin and I can highly recommend it to you. It definitely revolutionizes the sound design industry with new opportunities which we have never had before. So I think you should not miss on this one. It's insane. And you saw that on the examples I showed to you. If you consider grabbing this, iFeature provided me with a little discount code for you on his Patreon shop. You can use it at checkout to get it a little bit cheaper. You will find the discount code in the description or in the pinned comment. And I hope you enjoyed this little video. Let me know what you think about Fusion. Let's discuss in the comments. See you in the next video. Have a great day and goodbye.